Yeah, peace and blessings. Keep up the lessons. You know who this is. Crypto B-Boy coming at you. I'm here, bring some news, and run through some things for you guys. So, keep you informed and everything like that. So stay in with me and let's get it. Are you ready? Let's get it. Alrighty then. So we got some news we're gonna get into, and I'm gonna run some things down for you, and just move on from there, and we'll see what we got. So just bear with me. Let me click this darn on, get it in there for you. You know what I mean? All right, here we go. So this is from the Daily Upside. It's a newsletter. I got a lot of newsletters that I get and I subscribe to so I can get some of these up to date, informative news that comes through the airways of the internet, right? Okay, so anyway, banking, and this is what we're dealing with, which is Credit Suisse, or Credit Suisse, however they pronounce it. First Republic revealed just how bad banks are bruised. Two banks, same crisis, different paths, right? This is the article that has been presented here. Earnings season continues. Us, what is it? I'm sorry, it's kind of small writing. A space this week, and Monday's reports featured critical updates from two banks that were front and center in March's banking panic. In the morning, Credit Suisse revealed just how dire its final days were before it was acquired by UBS. In the afternoon, the still standing First Republic Bank showed just how scary things got during the stateside bank runs. So it was, we know about this. Some of us have heard this in the news. What's been going on with the banks? Them crashing, them losing their position of having stability and no longer being able to have stable liquidity going to their customers. You know what I mean? They were insolvent at this time now. There was no solvency there for them, so now a lot of them was going under, and we know about this. So, but other banking or institutions, financial institutions, were bailing them out, and we know this what UBS has done. So, and then it says bleeding dry. Weirdly enough, Credit Suisse's final quarterly earnings report proved to be the most profitable in company history, with a roughly 14 billion net profit realized in large part from an accounting gain tied to 17 billion worth of bond write-offs. Bond write-offs. Oh, see, and they were writing these things off. But that figure I think it obscures the hot mess that was bubbling under the hood. Excuse me. The bank's wealthy clientele pulled 68 billion dollars in deposits in the quarter, resulting in 29% drop off in assets under the management. So, I don't want to get into the whole thing because the time, doesn't really permit. But basically, we know that this is still going and continuously going on, and that it is affecting the economy, and that the American dollar is losing its basic value, as we know, and even with the BRICS nations, we know that they have excelled past the the G7 countries, and I mean they're out there doing their thing continuously, and it's nonstop. And there have been recently at least 10 more countries that have applied and been accepted into the BRICS as the BRICS Plus, as we know. So this is still affecting the economy on a large scale globally, and this in turn has side effects that go into various markets and various financial economical areas that are all intertwined into this global market, or excuse me, global financial system, as we can say. All right, so let's get into the other stuff. Let's give me a break. Not give me a break. I'm sorry. That's when somebody's bothered you. You know what I mean. But give me a sec. Just give me a little time to get into it. Well, actually, what I want to do is read from my phone some of the information of other information that I have because this is my email. Sometimes I read the newsletters for you guys. So anyway, I ran across Molly Moore, 22. Shout out to her from her show that she does. I can't remember the name of the show, man. That's crazy, and I've watched it several times. But anyway, she's very good. She's good and informative in the cryptocurrency space at this point in time. She covers a lot of stuff that has to do with the financial situation that's been going on, various areas of things. And but she posted a post from a guy named Alan D. Miller, and he says if there's a CBDC, consumer choice is gone, and that's for England. It was speaking about England and how England has, as it says, UK launched a CBDC pilot, and this is very important because what goes on in Europe affects America too, and America gets influenced in a positive way or a negative way. It depends on where they're at. If they want to be patriotic per se here and show that type of you know, I call it a facade because it's all a bunch of malarkey to me. But they want to paint that image to say, well, we're our own sovereign country. We're not under the umbrella of UK and Britain again anymore, as we fought for freedom in America during the times of George Washington and that the war that they had against Britain at the time to get their freedom, right? And American freedom, as from the beginning of the establishing of this country's freedom, so called. But anyway, this is what they're talking about that the countries only have, and he says, countries only have one central bank with control over the monetary policy unless you are in a position to move to another country. You cannot simply switch central banks. And this is true. This is clear because we understand the type of technology that will be in place. And those of us who do understand, those of us who don't, you need to watch any video from any content creator pretty much that tells you what a CBDC is, or look into it on your own and do your own due diligence. Go into Google it and find out what it means, and then understand the breakdowns of the technology. What is going to be a limit of people's transactions and maneuvers within, or when they have to use the CBDC system. Okay, and it's going to be a new financial system for money transaction. Yes, and of any kind. And I don't want to get into it because it can be long-winded. But anyway, let me go on further with other news as to read from here. I ran into my man, Mr. Man. Shout outs to him, Mr. Man XRP. He's on the Twitter. He has a Twitter feed, and he does. He put out a post. Russia considers using digital assets for cross-border payments. Now, this has been a controversy or a little bit out there in the news, put it that way, about what's going on there with Russia. But of course, the mainstream news are not going to cover it. They're busy worrying about Don Lemon and Tucker leaving, or being fired or whatever they was removed from their positions that they were in these news stations. Okay, and as they were commentators or reporters or what have you in the news, right? Journalists, put it that way. Let's say that. So they're no longer with those positions, but that's all where the news is at, and it's speaking on things like with Trump and stuff like that. But and then maybe they may cover the issues between the transgender and LGBTQ community, controversy and issues going on there too, right? And a lot of the protests and stuff like that, but they're not dealing with the finance a lot more that it should be for us to know, because that's where a lot of the things that are taking place that is beyond all of that mess and really is going to bear a lot more effect on us in our lives, in our daily lives, because we know money, we know that finance is the way of us to be able to afford our living, to be able to maneuver, to be able to do things, to be able to drive a car and have gas put into your car, to be able to pay your bills. If you own your own home, you still have to pay the utilities from the vendors that provide you their utilities. Unless you're solar powered, then you still got to provide the upkeep for your solar power systems, right? And the likes of this, or water, if you provide your own water, you got to make sure your well, if you have a well system, is purified, it's cleaned, and you still have to have money to have animals if you have your own animals. So people who feel maybe because they are sustainable, self-sustainable, that still doesn't take away from the fact you have to have money, you know. So we live with money. Money helps us to live this life and to be fulfilled in the things that we need, right? And that's just clear. So this affects us. You know what I mean? So that's the point on that. But let me go back into some more stuff that I wanted to touch base on. Hold on for a second here. Let me see what's happening here. Yeah, we was and I wanted to touch it, but I just can't seem to find it right now. It was. Let me see. This is it. No, we was there already. We was there already. Hold on. Here. Biden and Yellen conspiracy to rob Americans of their savings and reward big banks. And as this is from Crypto Revealed, as another newsletter, and it says, warning, banks can seize your savings to bail themselves out. Protect your wealth now. A banking crisis is underway. You see, Biden was presided over sky high inflation, massive interest rate hikes, and unprecedented government spending. And now banks are bearing the brunt of his reckless policies. But want to know what's truly crazy. Instead of waiting for federal bailouts, President Obama made it legal for these troubled banks to seize your savings and quickly bail themselves out with your hard-earned money. This means you could foot the bill for Biden's wealth destroying agenda. And he's been doing that. I mean, he hasn't been good at building the economy up and protecting us and protecting this country. He's been sending money, all big money, to Ukraine and other countries like Israel and so forth, and so-called allies. But Saudi didn't need that, and they're pulled away and they're out of the game. So anyway, we still without. We're still going without. So now they're trying to and infringe on our savings. You know what I mean? So even your IRA and 401k savings could be decimated because another banking crisis may upend the stock market, just like it did in 2008. Okay, so people, we gotta beware and know what's going on. So I would say, and this is not professional advisement as far as professional financial advisement. I'm not one of these type of people. I do not have that type of credentials, so I'm not this, and this is my disclaimer. Do not take from me as though it is edged in stone and that you have to follow this because you have to do your own due diligence and go behind me. I'm just using my experience and learning from people who are these types of people, financial advisors or financial professionals, economists, and so forth, right? And the likes. So I take from them that you should be taking your money and investing it in more tangible investments. It's things that you can put your hands on, things is going to be there for you. It has a future, it has a use case, the likes, right? And of course, me with crypto B-boy, I speak about crypto, but certain particular cryptos that do have that use case, that utility, is the ones that you should invest in, like XRP, as you see there, right? On the top of the screen on the right side of me, right? And or the left is depending on your angle. And then you have XLM, you have XDC, you have all the X coins, and then some. And then you have the ones who are just as they have the same kind of technology, same blockchain ledger, systematic technology to be able to provide infrastructural functionality for banking systems and financial institutions, and it's globally, and it's also at the top of the global scale of things. It's not just commercial businesses or commercial banks and institutions. It's high central banks and company and agencies like IMF, you understand, or the World Trade Organization and so forth, World Bank. These institutions up there. So they're going to be using these technologies of digital currency, digital or DLT, digital distributed ledger technology, as we know as blockchain. Okay, so this is where you want to put your money because there's a future there. It's just like with stocks. You want to know about a company. If you're an investor, you want to know about a company's longevity, that it may have a future, its vision, what is going to go, where is it going to make, what is it going to be known as a vision or mission of where it's going to in the near future of at least 10 years to come, as far as its money that it's going to make, its returns that are going to come back and profits as an investor. This is what you're investing in for. You're investing in for a return. You're investing in for a profit, and you to get a share, whether even if you are buying shares in a company or for products or so forth, right? So that's how you got to do it. The same with the crypto. You know what I mean? And commodities. And commodities like gold, silver, and then you have earth like, chemical earth bound substances like lithium, mercury, you know, you have other things that are in the ground that the people are using for computer components, and soon and even more soon to be on a regular basis for electrical solar powered or electrical powered vehicles. You know what I mean? This is the future. And there's other, things you can get into, but just look into these things, and then also look into real estate. Real estate is very, very important and very to mankind. People are going to always need a place to live, so that's normal. And food, agriculture, these are the things you should invest your money into, businesses that are going to be dealing in those areas, and then some. I can go on, but I don't have time. But I just wanted to give you guys that. But again, I appreciate you guys hanging in there with me, and being part of this circle and this group of people in the right minded or like minded community that I am in, and that I give you and disseminate this types of information to you as well as those of the rest who do so. So don't forget to subscribe to your bro. Stay with me. Continue to stay in the loop and get this information, and all that I get is going to come right off from me and funnel to you at the best of my ability. And also click the like button when you leave. Hopefully you enjoyed the video and everything, and I hope that you will come back and for the next one, the next few future videos that I have. And with you subscribing, you clicking the bell notification, it will allow you to receive notifications more or less. Sometimes there's quirks in the system with YouTube, but usually you'll get it, and you can get to see my video posted and so forth. So I appreciate you guys. Until next time, y'all take care. And don't forget to be strong. There's a lot going on. There's some stuff that I didn't cover I might cover later, and some news and things that are going on. Don't let all the hoopla and the craziness that is going on get you down. Stay firm on and focus on what you are into. Do your own due diligence. Dollar cost averaging. When the price is down. With those of you who are more into dealing and focusing on price movement, when it's down, don't worry. Just go and accumulate. This is not professional advice, but it's just giving you a word of my position, what I do. And if you like it, and if you feel that I'm right, then I would say go ahead with it, because it helps me and it betters me too when I do what I do. So anyway, and it's beneficial. So I'm not going to give you anything that's not beneficial to you. So I thank you very much. Until next time, this is your bro. Peace and blessings. Keep up the lessons. I'm out. Peace.